If you're watching this video, there's one of two reasons why you are probably watching. The first one could be that you're just bored and you just needed a video to watch. In that case, thanks for clicking on this video. I hope this video will entertain you in some way, shape or form. The second reason is you are actually curious how to play PokéRogue and you're at the right address here. My name is Reverso. I stream a lot of PokéRogue. I actually have got about 100 plus hours on this game and I've been totally addicted. So viewer discretion is advised. This game is very addictive. This might be your only chance to turn back and not actually play it. But if you're deciding to play it, you're in for a good time. In this video, I'm going to explain to you how to get started and give you some tips that the game doesn't necessarily tell you about. So having that said, the first thing I like to do when I start off a game is actually go to the settings. Because in the settings, you can change stuff around. Basically, game speed, I think that's up to personal preference. You can change the volume if you like. I think this is fine. This one, damage numbers, set it to fancy because you can actually see the amount of damage that you're doing or receiving, which I think is a cool little touch to the game. And also, you can change the experience gains speed and the HP bar, how fast that is going. So, fast is fine, I would say. You can also play on gamepad, so that's something to keep in mind. One thing that's really cool about PokéRogue, right off the bat, is when you make an account of PokéRogue, once you load it up for the first time, you don't need a Google account or anything like that to make an account. You just make an account on the site itself. Because this is browser-based, you can play it on mobile, and you can play it on PC. And the thing that's really cool is because you have your account, you can just carry on your playing progress. Like, let's say you play on PC, right? And you get to a certain point, you can just carry that progress over to your phone. And you can keep playing there and vice versa, which I think is really quite cool. Having that said though, let's get started with our run. So, this is the selection screen of PokéRogue. And yes, this is Mystery Dungeon music, which I think is absolutely amazing. They use a lot of Mystery Dungeon music in this game, which I think is really, really quite cool. So, what you need to know about this is that you need to assemble a team worth 10 points. See over here, 10 points. We currently have 0 because we have not got anything selected. So we can pick Bulbasaur, and that will be 3 points out of 10 currently being used. Then we can say, oh, we want to go to a different generation. Ah, the starters are available here. We can pick something there, or Gen 3, or the Gen 4 starters, or Gen 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. They're all available. And as a matter of fact, all Pokemon that have ever been released are currently available in PokéRogue, which I think is fantastic because some of the sprites of the newer generation Pokemon look absolutely phenomenal in this game and so cool to see. Having that said though, let's go ahead and start off. Let's pick Cyndaquil. And let's go and pick Mudkip. And let's go and pick Rowlet. It's a good selection of Pokemon. Unfortunately, I don't have any Pokemon that have an allocated points value of 1. So I cannot pick this Weedle. I've seen it, but I've never caught it. You want to be catching a lot of Pokemon in PokéRogue, and we'll get to that very shortly. So having that said, let's go ahead and start with this run of PokéRogue. So, PokéRogue works just like any other Pokemon game, basically. You fight, you get experience, you level up, the whole situation, right? And if you want to be catching Pokemon, lower their HP and then start chugging balls. You obviously start with 5 Pokeballs, making it easy to catch Rattata. Hey, we got Rattata, happy days. Cool, we have it in our party now, and we can start it. You can select it next time around. This screen happens after every single battle. This is the item selection screen. At the top is basically your shop in which you buy heals, revives, ethers, whatever you need. At the bottom is your item selection screen. These are items you get for free. You only can pick one. In this case, because we're at the start of the game, I actually want to use a potion to heal up my Pokemon and grab some Pokeballs. Because we want to be catching this Taillow, of course, as well. Let's go ahead and do some damage right here. Bring it to that waypoint. And then go ahead and chug a ball. And there we go. We caught the Taillow. Now, I want you to pay attention real closely to this screen that we got right here. And for that reason, I'm going to lower myself. So first things first, Taillow has been added as a starter. But this screen is very important because this is the value of the Pokemon that you just caught, right? So these are IVs, special defense, special attack, defense, attack, maximum HP, and speed. This goes up to 31. But the reason why this is important is because I caught this Tailo right now. When I select Tailo, it will have these particular individual values on that Tailo. But let's say in the future I catch another Tailo which has certain departments where it has better stats. Like for example, instead of 10 speed, it has 20 speed. And instead of 16 attack, it has 25 attack. Next time around, I pick Tailo as a starter. It will have all the stats of the highest individual values of all the Pokemon of the same species that you've caught combined. So if they're all level 31, or if they're all 31, then you have a perfect Pokemon. That's why you want to keep catching Pokemon over and over and over. And it's the same thing with the nature. It's modest nature, this Tailo is not good. But the next time I select Tailo, and I only have the modest nature, it will be modest nature by default. So keep catching Pokemon as much as you can. Of course, the same thing applies to abilities. And yes, there's hidden abilities in the game as well. There's another reason why you want to be catching Pokemon, but I'll get to that a little bit later. For now, let's keep on going. So, as you can see, there's different kinds of rarities with items indicated by different colors. The white color is Pokeball tier. The blue color is Great Ball tier, which is a little bit better. Then you have yellow color, which is Ultra Ball tier. You have red color, which is Rogue Ball tier, which is a unique Pokeball within Pokemon Rogue, PokéRogue. And then you have Master Ball. And hopefully I'll be able to show that to you. But for now, let's go ahead and do a Citrus Berry onto Cyndaquil. Oh, we got a Nincada right here. Okay, so Nincada, let's go ahead and try to catch this, because I think it's actually quite cool to get this. Which means we can get a Ninjask and we get a Shedinja in the future. Let's go ahead and catch this. One thing that's really cool about PokéRogue is that at the right top corner you can actually see the progression. So we're currently on floor 3. It goes up quite a fair amount. I don't really want to tell you what the total amount is or where it goes up to, but there's going to be some challenges along the way which might very likely going to be ending your run, especially first time around playing this game. It took me a good amount of times in order to beat my first run, and it was very satisfying when I did. Okay, let's go ahead and pick the rare candy. Actually, I need to heal up a little bit, so I'm going to spend some money here healing up. And the Rattata is also damaged, so I'm not going to heal that up. Go ahead and pick this. And let's just focus on Cyndaquil for now. It's been working pretty well for me. We got an Abra here. So for Abra, definitely just chug balls because it's going to teleport away. Very much like the game, Pokemon game on itself. There we go. So, the trainer battle we've just entered in is actually a very important moment, because what you're seeing here is that the trainer silhouette is showing. The reason why this is important is because when that is not the case with every single regular battle you're doing, what ends up happening is if you buff up your Pokemon by giving a status boost, it will retain those attack buffs or defense buffs, whatever buff you're going to be using throughout, alongside with the debuffs as well. And the trainer battle will then be a reset. So let's say your Pokemon got a lot of sand attacks hit on it. Well, basically, if you keep doing the regular battles with Pokemon, it's not going to reset. But in the trainer battle, it actually does. Right now, if we got growled a few times, that will just reset and we can actually take down the Pokemon relatively easily. When you take down the trainer and your Pokemon got debuffed, like let's say this little pup is about to do a bunch of growls, that will carry over with the next few battles, because then after that the silhouette doesn't show. So let's go ahead and do tackle right here. And obviously you cannot catch Pokemon from trainers. We did take down the Pokemon, but as you can see, the trainer silhouette is not here. It's just a regular Pokemon. Oh, there we go. This item is the best item in PokéRogue. Hands down. This is the #1 item. Wow, I can't believe I got this. Wow, it's floor 5. I got a lock off suit. That's ridiculous. Look, kind of sucky because I'm not gonna finish this run out in any way, shape, or form. But let me show you what it does. Later, you can actually see I have it at the left top corner. You can see all the items you're getting. These are like your artifacts if you're familiar with regular Rogue type games. A thing that's cool in PokéRogue is that you can see the items that Pokemon are carrying. In this case, you can see this Wurmple has a Citrus Berry right now, right? So we can actually get this citrus berry from the Wurmple if you'd like. Let's try and do that. Let's do a tackle. Let's do another tackle. Oh, it used the citrus. Well, darn. But let's catch it anyway. The idea was to catch the Wurmple before it used the citrus. And then what you can do is you can actually add it to your team. So let's do this, right? And then you have the capability of actually transferring items, held items, between Pokemon. At the right bottom corner, because we have a held item somewhere, we can select transfer. And we can see, where did I put it? Oh, Hoothoot. Hoothoot, that's a Lumberry. You can interchangeably swap that between Pokemon. So let's say you want to do it on Cyndaquil. Oh, wait, Cyndaquil is not good. Let's Cyndaquil to Rowlet. You can just change it as much as you like. And remember what I was saying? This item is really insane. So what we could do is lock the rarities of the most rare of these Pokemon, of these items right here. And we can just get the same back. See, 2 Great Balls. And we got a Max Revive here. And we got a Nugget here. This gets really expensive though. So be mindful of doing this or not. And at level 8... you are presented with the first rival battle. This is Ivy or Finn if you picked female character. Yeah, this is just the rival that you're having, which I think is cool. But once again, you cannot actually swap out your Pokemon because you're into a training battle. So trainer battles are in the set mode, whereas wild encounters is just Swift. So I think that's really quite cool. So if we want to do well, we're gonna be swapping to the Mudkip because she has a Fuecoco. The Ivy will be coming back in future battles as well. So make sure you're prepared for her. That's all I'm gonna say. Alright. We're off against this Hoothoot. This is a boss. Bosses will always have several health bars. And you have to get through this bar first. This is like an obstacle, like a barrier. And any additional health that you do doesn't take it down unless you do an overwhelming amount of damage. In that case, it just takes down several bars. In this case, I don't suspect we will. Go ahead and do tackle. As you can see, just stopped right here. And the cool thing is we can actually try and catch this now. Once it's at the halfway point. We caught the Hoothoot. That's really sweet. And after every 10th floor, which this is the 10th floor, you will get an XP charm, but you have fully healed up. Every 10 floors in PokéRogue, you get completely healed up. So make sure you keep in mind what floor you're on right here. So that is basically the beginning of PokéRogue. Kind of like a brief breakdown of the battling, all this sort of stuff. There's definitely more depth to it, but I think this is kind of like the base fundamentals that you should know about. Except for the fact that you have the capability of hatching stuff. There's going to be battles that you're going to be facing off, and they're going to give you vouchers. My tip is to always go for shiny up. There's a specific reason to it. When you have shiny Pokemon in your party in PokéRogue, the items that you're fighting at the end of a battle will be better. So gather a lot of shinies. As I'm posting this video, there's currently an event where you can find shinies twice as fast. The base odds of finding a shiny in PokéRogue is 1 in 2,000. With this machine, it's 1 in 64. If you do any of the other egg hatching machines, it's 1 in 128. So keep that in mind. The shiny up is the machine you want to be using for that. Unless you really want that Zekrom, but I honestly would say just go for the shiny up. Even there, you can find legendaries in here as well. I mean, that said, you can actually also run from battles. Oh, in this case you can, but you can run away from battles. Yeah, there we go. And then it will move to the next floor. If you lose a battle, by the way, you can just refresh the game and just keep on going if you'd like to do so. But go ahead and go back to our selection screen. So as you can see, we've actually unlocked more Pokemon now. We got Rattata, we got Spearow, we got the Venonat. So this is the next thing I want to explain to you. Over here at the bottom of the screen, you can actually go ahead and use candy. And this is very important. The reason why this is important is because if you catch a lot of candy and at the left top corner of the Poké, we can actually see how much candy I have. With Venonat, at the left top corner, I have exactly 1 candy. If we get 25 candy, we can reduce the cost. And that means instead of 2 value, it is 1 value. The reason why this is important is because then I would be able to pick Venonat. If it was 1 value, I'll be able to pick Venonat alongside with the 3 starters here. But I can't do that now because I didn't reduce the cost. So you want to keep catching the Pokemon of your interest over and over and over and over. But it does not stop there, because you may have seen that there's also a passive. This is a second ability that will be available. You might be thinking that's incredibly overpowered, and that's because it is, because it requires quite a lot of effort to catch these Pokemon. So keep catching the Pokemon over and over and get yourself those abilities, because, I mean, some of these abilities are Intimidate on a Charmander, hello? We got Solar Power on a Venusaur, whatever. In particular, Zigzagoon, I'd say it has Pickpocket. It has the capability Pick Up and Pickpocket. It is absolutely broken. You want to be getting yourself that. That's just an advanced tip for beginners. Zigzagoon, absolutely great Pokemon to have on your team. What are some of the other use cases? Water Absorb on Surskit with Swift Swim. I mean, there's a lot of variety here. Overcoat right here. What do we have here? Tinted Lens, Regenerator, Reckless. We got Grassy Surge. That's pretty important stuff. Now, one last thing before we wrap up, I want to talk about is this green board, is this purple border you see on this Trico. Let me show you what it does. Take it into battle. Yep. This green border, we go to summary, at the bottom, it means PokéRogue. You generally would like to have a Pokemon with PokéRogue on your team. There's only 3 Pokemon that will have PokéRogue every single day, and it will swap. And the cool thing is, just like any other Pokemon game, it will carry over to your team that you have. The thing that PokéRogue actually does, and I almost forgot to explain it, it multiplies the experience gained per battle by 1.5 times. So let's take care of this Caterpie. Let's do some damage on it. And last time we got about 20 experience. This time we got 24. It's a little bit more. But keep that in mind. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my quick tutorial on how to play PokéRogue. Well, quick, it's 20 minutes. I hope it explained everything you needed to get yourself on the road. I would just say, keep trying stuff out. Catch a lot of Pokemon. Keep experimenting with things, and for sure you'll be a PokéRogue master very, very soon. If you have any sort of questions or you want to know anything further, make sure to visit me on Twitch. I'll be able to answer any sort of question when it comes down to PokéRogue. Alright, that's it for me for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.